So how to measure your bustier? That's what this video is all about. It assumes that you already have all your measurements written down on a paper or a book. So first of all, I started by measuring my bust point. That's from my shoulder to my nipple point. Then my under bust from my shoulder to where my bra sits. Then my half length. These are the 3 measurements that I just marked out on my fabric. So the next thing is to connect it. No, I measured on both sides in order to get a straight line. Okay, then after the connection, you can actually decide to label just the same way I did here for clarification sake. So that's my bust point, my under bust, and my half. Okay, so these are the physical measurements here. All right, so the next thing is to measure my shoulder divided by 2. That is what I did here. So my shoulder is half, that's 17 divided by 2. It gave me 8.5.
From there, I went down to get my armhole, the circumference of my armhole divided by 2, and I marked it out. Then on my shoulder, I came down by 1 inch and I connected it to my neck width. Then I curved the neck, the shape of the neck. So to get your bustier darts, you have to use your bust point interval measurement divided by 2. But on your half length and on your under bust, you have to minus half. So 9 inches divided by 2, minus that gives me 9 inches divided by 2 gives me 4.5. That's 4.5. Then minus half an inch for the half length and the under bust. But the bust point, we just have that 4.5. So I marked 4 inches on my half length, 4 inches on my under bust, and 4.5 on my bust point. Then my shoulder, I divided it by 2 to be able to get the curve that I need. So the next thing I have to do is to connect the line. So I connected the line from the half length to the under bust and to the bust point. Remember, we have 4.5 and 4 inches respectively, so that is why the lines are not straight. So the next thing is to connect it to the armhole line, and on my half length, I marked 2 inches for my dart, 2 inches on my under bust again, then connected it. Then from there, I made a curve to the bust points. Okay, I made a bust to the bust point. That's just to get the side of the bustier. Then on my armhole, I came down again by 2 inches from the division of the armhole. I came down by 2 inches, and I took that 2 inches out. I extended it out. The reason is to get a perfect armhole. If you did not do this, the side of the blouse will be shorter, and you'll be looking for fabric to add up. So this is the best way. After that, I did the final connection. Now I've gotten my armhole. That was why I did not mark my armhole at the first instance. So I've gotten my connection and I've marked my now I've done my normal measurements, which is the circumference of my waist divided by 4. I added the 2 inches for the dart that I removed, and I added another 2 inches. So in total, I added 4 inches, and I marked. On my armhole, I added my bust circumference divided by 4. I added 2 inches for my ease allowance and my sewing allowance, and I added 1 inch on my bust measurement. So that is what I just did here, and I cut out. So this is the neckline that I want my blouse to have, and it's just a freehand sketch that I used to get it. Okay, you can give yours any type of neckline that you want, but if you want a tutorial on this neckline, just leave a comment section and I will do that. Now the front part of the blouse is ready, so let's get straight to the back part. First of all, I marked out my 2 inches zip allowance. I marked out my neck width and my neck depth, the neck width of your choice. I used the 3 inches I used for the other one, 3.5 inch rather. Then I used 4 inches for the neck depth. Then after that, I marked my armhole. My armhole is I used my shoulder measurement to mark out my armhole. Okay, my shoulder measurement is 8 inches. Then on my armhole, I measured my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. On my half length, I measured my waist circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches. Remember, this is a peplum top, so it has the down part. That is why all the measurements ended at the half length. So the next thing is for me to get my dart, which is what I just did. I divided my armhole by 2 inches and I mark it. I use my bust point interval to get the down part on my half length. Then I took half an inch on both sides and I connected it 2 inches below my armhole, and I cut out. So this is basically how to get your bustier. The back part is easier. It doesn't really have any much measurement and marking to do. So the next is for me to cut out the the darts. Okay, so this dart is your back side a nice, it's just to give your back a nice fitting. Okay, so this is, subscribe to this channel, please, to encourage me to do more. You can see I was rushing the video in order to save your time and not to take much of your space. Okay, so back to the peplum. The peplum I folded into four. I used my waist circumference divided by 8 to get my waist.